Imagine accidentally sending your most intimate photos to the one person who controls your entire livelihood, your boss. Hey everyone, what I'm about to share with you today is something that still makes me want to disappear into the ground every time I think about it. This is a story about one of the most embarrassing, mortifying moments of my entire life. And trust me, you need to hear this until the very end, because what happened next will absolutely shock you. Before I dive into this personal story, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support means everything to me, and honestly, sharing these vulnerable moments takes courage. So picture this. I'm a secretary at a professional firm, working directly under a man who has been nothing but respectful and professional with me for years. We had this perfect working relationship built on mutual respect, clear boundaries, and complete professionalism. He never once crossed a line, never made me uncomfortable, and I had never given him any reason to question my professionalism either. Our interactions were always strictly business-related, and that's exactly how we both liked it. But here's where things get complicated, and trust me, this is where the story takes a turn that will make your stomach drop. I have this close friend, and when I say close, I mean we have a very intimate friendship where we share everything, including some pretty personal photos. We had this routine of sending each other confidence-boosting pictures. You know, those moments when you're feeling good about yourself, and you want to share that energy with someone who truly gets you. So there I was, one beautiful afternoon at home, feeling absolutely amazing about myself. I had just gotten ready. I was wearing this gorgeous lingerie set that made me feel like $1 million. And when I caught my reflection in the mirror, I thought to myself, wow, I look incredible today. That surge of confidence hit me, and I decided I wanted to capture that moment and share it with my friend who always hyped me up and made me feel even better about myself. I positioned myself in front of the mirror, took what I thought was a stunning photo, and wrote this caption about how amazing I felt. I was so caught up in that moment of self-love and confidence that I quickly sent the message and then put my phone aside to go handle some other things around the house. I was feeling so good, so empowered, completely unaware that my entire world was about to come crashing down around me. Now here's where the story takes that horrifying turn that still haunts me to this day. And trust me, what I discovered next will make you double-check every single message you send from now on. After some time had passed, I casually picked up my phone to check my messages, expecting maybe a sweet response from my friend. But when I looked at my phone, my blood ran completely cold. My hands started shaking, my heart started pounding, and I felt like I was going to be sick right there on the spot. The intimate photo I had meant to send to my friend, that gorgeous, confident, lingerie-clad picture of myself with that bold caption, had somehow also been sent to my boss. My professional, respectful, strictly business boss who had never once seen me as anything other than his competent secretary. I had accidentally sent him the most intimate, personal photo of myself, complete with a caption about how attractive I felt. I stared at my phone in complete disbelief, refreshing the conversation over and over again, hoping it was some kind of horrible mistake, some glitch in the system. But no, there it was, clear as day. That intimate photo sitting right there in our professional chat thread, right between messages about work schedules and office tasks. The contrast was so stark, so inappropriate, so absolutely mortifying that I wanted to disappear from the face of the earth. I think what had happened was that his conversation was one of the most recent ones in my chat list, because we frequently exchanged work-related messages throughout the day. In my excitement and confidence, I must have selected his chat along with my friends, or maybe I accidentally forwarded it to him too. I honestly don't know exactly how it happened, but the damage was done, and there was no taking it back. His response came quickly, and it was nothing like the casual, friendly tone we usually maintained in our work communications. He simply wrote that we needed to speak in person on Monday, and that I should come find him first thing. That was it. No context, no emotion, just that cold, professional directive that made my stomach sink even further. The dread that consumed me for the rest of that weekend was unlike anything I had ever experienced. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't focus on anything except the impending conversation that would likely end my career. I kept imagining different scenarios. Would he fire me immediately? Would he report this to HR? Would he think I was some kind of inappropriate person who had been planning this all along? The uncertainty was killing me, and I spent those days replaying every interaction we'd ever had, wondering if he would now see all of them in a different, twisted light. I considered trying to explain myself over text, to clarify that it was an accident, but something told me that would only make things worse. If I was going to salvage any chance of keeping my job, I needed to face this situation head-on, in person, with complete honesty and professionalism. Monday morning arrived like a death sentence. I got dressed in my most professional conservative outfit, trying to project an image of complete respectability and competence. My hands were shaking as I walked to his office, and when I knocked on his door, I felt like I might collapse from anxiety. The man who greeted me was not the colleague I had worked alongside for years. He was cold, distant, and clearly disappointed in me. His entire demeanor had shifted, and I could see the respect he had once held for me flickering in his eyes, replaced by something that looked like betrayal and confusion. He began by expressing his disappointment, telling me that he had never expected this kind of behavior from me. He emphasized how professional our relationship had always been, how I had been such a reliable, trustworthy employee, and how this incident had completely blindsided him. The hurt in his voice was almost worse than anger would have been, because I could tell that I had genuinely damaged something valuable, the mutual respect we had built over years of working together. I tried desperately to explain that it had been an accident, that the photo was meant for my friend, that I would never intentionally send something like that to him. I was practically begging him to understand, to believe me, to see that this was just a horrible mistake, and not some calculated attempt to cross professional boundaries. But here's the part that made everything even worse. He didn't believe me. He looked me straight in the eye and told me that he thought I had sent it intentionally, that maybe because he had never given me the kind of personal attention I wanted, I was now making up this excuse about it being an accident. The accusation stung because it suggested that not only had I been inappropriate, but that I was also dishonest and manipulative. I felt my entire world crumbling around me as he questioned my integrity and my motives. This man who had known me as a professional, reliable employee for years was now seeing me as someone capable of sexual harassment and deception. The shame was overwhelming, and I found myself pleading with him not just for my job, but for him to see the person he had known me to be for all these years. After what felt like an eternity of back and forth, he finally said he would give me another chance, but that our working relationship would need to be even more professional and distant than before. He made it clear that he was watching me, that any hint of inappropriate behavior would result in immediate termination, and that I needed to prove myself all over again. From that day forward, everything changed between us. Where we had once had a comfortable working relationship with friendly small talk and easy communication, now every interaction was stiff and formal. He barely spoke to me unless it was absolutely necessary for work, and when he did, his tone was sharp and businesslike. I understood why he felt he needed to create that distance, but it was incredibly isolating and uncomfortable to navigate every single day. The worst part was living with the constant fear that he might share what had happened with other colleagues. I imagined everyone in the office whispering about me, judging me, seeing me as unprofessional or inappropriate. Every conversation that stopped when I entered a room, every glance between coworkers, I was convinced they all knew about my humiliating mistake. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn that changed everything, and you're not going to believe what happened next. Months passed in this uncomfortable new dynamic, with me working harder than ever to prove my professionalism while dealing with the constant tension of our altered relationship. Then my friend, the one the photo was originally intended for, came to visit me at work one day. She wanted to meet my colleagues and see where I spent my days, and I thought it would be nice to introduce her around during lunch break. We were sitting with several other employees, just having casual conversation, when somehow the topic turned to friendships and relationships. My friend, being the open, honest person she is, started talking about our friendship and how we support each other through everything, including sharing confidence-boosting photos and being each other's cheerleaders. She wasn't being inappropriate or graphic, just explaining the kind of close, supportive friendship we had where we helped each other feel good about ourselves. I noticed my boss listening to this conversation, and I could see something shifting in his expression. He was putting pieces together, realizing that what my friend was describing matched exactly what I had tried to explain to him months earlier. For the first time since the incident, I saw a flicker of understanding in his eyes, a recognition that maybe, just maybe, I had been telling the truth all along. After that lunch conversation, I noticed a gradual change in his behavior toward me. He started being slightly less cold, occasionally making small talk again, and slowly beginning to treat me more like the professional colleague I had always been. It wasn't an overnight transformation back to our previous relationship, but it was progress, and it felt like he was finally starting to believe that the whole incident really had been an innocent mistake. However, even now, years later, our relationship has never fully returned to what it was before. There's still a certain level of distance and formality that wasn't there before, and I completely understand why. Some boundaries, once accidentally crossed, create permanent changes in how people relate to each other, even when everyone involved handles the situation with maturity and professionalism. The experience taught me so many lessons about the importance of being careful with technology, about how quickly our lives can change because of simple mistakes, and about the value of the professional relationships we build over time. It also showed me how important it is to own our mistakes completely, to understand the impact our actions have on others, and to work patiently to rebuild trust when we've accidentally damaged it. Looking back now, I'm grateful that my boss handled the situation with such professionalism, even though it was clearly uncomfortable and disappointing for him. He could have fired me immediately, could have made the workplace hostile, could have shared the incident with others in a way that would have destroyed my reputation. Instead, he gave me a chance to prove myself again, maintained my privacy, and eventually was able to move past his initial reaction to see the situation more clearly. This experience also made me realize how vulnerable we all are to these kinds of technological mishaps. In our digital age, we're all just one wrong tap, one mistaken contact selection, one moment of inattention away from accidentally sharing something with the wrong person. It's a reminder to always double-check our messages, to be mindful of our digital footprints, and to remember that once something is sent, we can't take it back. The mortification I felt during those months was unlike anything I had ever experienced, but it also taught me resilience and the importance of maintaining professionalism, even in the most embarrassing circumstances. I learned that sometimes the best thing we can do after making a mistake is to accept responsibility, work hard to make things right, and give other people the time and space they need to process what happened. Even today, when I think about that moment of discovering I had sent that photo to my boss, I still feel that familiar wave of embarrassment wash over me. It's one of those memories that makes you physically cringe, that makes you want to travel back in time and shake your past self for being so careless. But it's also a reminder that we're all human. We all make mistakes, and sometimes the most mortifying experiences in our lives become the stories that teach us the most about ourselves and about grace under pressure. This story I've shared with you today is completely real. It was sent to me by one of my followers on another platform who trusted me enough to share their most embarrassing moment. I want to thank them for their vulnerability and for allowing me to share their experience with all of you. It takes courage to admit our mistakes and to let others learn from our experiences. If this story resonated with you, if it made you think about your own close calls with technology, or if it reminded you that we all have moments we'd rather forget, please show your support by subscribing to this channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and sharing it with someone who might need to hear that mistakes don't define us. And definitely leave a comment below telling me about a time technology almost got you in trouble. I read every single comment, and I love connecting with all of you. Remember, we're all just trying to navigate this complicated world the best we can. And sometimes the most embarrassing moments become the most valuable lessons. Thanks for listening to this incredibly personal story, and I'll see you in the next video.